Join us on the program right now. Very pleased to have with us from the Buckeye Farms Association and a member of the NRA's Board of Directors, Ms. Linda Walker. How you doing tonight, Linda?
Good, Cam. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you for coming on the program. And congratulations, because yesterday, a big day, Ohio Governor John Kasich signing the restaurant carry legislation, right?
Yeah, he did. Actually, we had two bills that were signed by the governor, also restoration of rights. So how appropriate going into our Independence weekend that we are restoring some Second Amendment rights in Ohio.
Absolutely. And I know I know that in time these op-eds are going to recede once the law goes into effect and these pundits realize that, okay, they were freaked out over nothing. But I was amused today, Linda, to see a couple of stories talking about, well, the NRA is getting their wild, wild west wishes and blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is the law in the vast majority of the United States. Ohio was one of the few states that didn't have a restaurant carry law. But the opponents of this legislation just continue to insist that law-abiding right to carry holders are somehow less law-abiding, less responsible than the general public.
Yeah, that, and it seems like in Ohio also we're less trustworthy than the rest of the country. You know, the 42 states that already have restaurant carry in place. So, I'm feeling a little better now that I'm a little more trusted. But, the media, oh my gosh, the hysteria going into this bill has been crazy. Excuse me. The bill will go into effect the end of September. A little speculation on exactly what day, but somewhere between September 28th and September 30th. So I want to make sure that the Ohio listeners out there understand it's been signed into law, but it doesn't become law until the end of September. And we've got a countdown clock on BuckeyeFirearms.org in the top right-hand corner, so watch that clock, especially as we get to the end of September, and you'll know exactly what day it goes into effect.
Okay, yeah, and that's very good advice, because you're right. A lot of these bills, once they're signed into law, do not go into effect immediately. They've got an effective date that's several months down the road, and so you don't want people getting into trouble doing something that'll be legal in a few months but isn't legal now.
Exactly. And going back to the media, I'm sure as we approach that day of it going into effect, I can just imagine the media will probably fire it up again, but, like any other legislation that gets passed, they quickly forget about it a couple of days later. I give it a month after it goes into effect, and everybody settles down, and the restaurant owners will settle down, and we will go back to normal.
Well, Linda, again, I know this is a long time coming, both the restaurant carry bill and the restoration of rights bill. How long have you all been working on this legislation?
2.5 years. Last session, both bills died at the end of session in December. They had fully passed the Senate, House committees, and Speaker Buttigieg would not bring them to the floor for a floor vote. So they died December 31st. So we started back in, and actually now, we're 6 months into the session, and I've got to say this is the fastest we've gotten any legislation passed as far as gun rights in Ohio. So it's pretty good. People go, well, it went really fast. No, it didn't. It went 2.5 years, but 6 months into this session, so it's good.
Well, again, congratulations, Linda, and I hope that you are able to celebrate this Independence Day holiday. And again, glad that you all are looking forward to having a little bit more independence and freedom in the Buckeye State.
Absolutely, and I want to throw out a great, big, huge thank you to Nikki Gozer and Susanna Hupp, both. And Nikki came to Ohio 2 or 3 times to testify for this bill. Susanna had come in. We flew Nikki back in for the signing, so she was there. And, we need to throw out our thanks also to the senators and the representatives who ran both of these bills in both sessions. So it's a good day. Good day in Ohio.
Absolutely. Hey, Linda, thanks again, and we'll talk to you again very soon.
Okay, Cam.
All right. You have a great weekend. Linda Walker joined us from the Buckeye Firearms Association, member of the NRA's board.